Hey everybody, I just wanted to talk with you about our research paper unit. This is the big paper that we do, and it's worth a lot of points. And just so you know, if you do not write a research paper, you cannot get credit for composition one. So this is an important paper, and we're going to take it step by step. I'm going to go through the assignments, and I'll try to talk kind of quickly so I don't keep you too long. But remember, you can always increase the speed on that YouTube video so that um, it moves along more quickly than I talk. So anyway, here I am in the shell. And I'm just going to scroll down and let's click on those assignments to complete. And this pretty much spells it out for us. As you know, Sunday night, you need to have your thesis written, your works cited page started. It's a working works cited page, so we can build onto it or take some things from it. And then a rough outline. Again, this is, like your plan on how you're going to build your paper, but you could change it. The only thing I would suggest that you not change is the topic once you get started, because that takes you back to square one. And we just have a few weeks to knock this out. So anyway, we're going to be working on all of these things. After Sunday, we'll work on the rough draft. I know some of you are a tiny bit upset that you need to meet with a TC tutor. We do this for a couple of reasons. Number one, we want someone other than you to put eyes on your paper. And also, kind of forces you to finish the paper before 11:59 on the day that it's due, so that a tutor can look over it with you. This is a graded assignment, visiting with the tutor. Finally, it's a great idea to know where the tutors are and how to access the tutors, and this happens on every campus, on every grade level. I was taking master's level classes that required me to visit a tutor, a campus tutor. So it's a thing. I didn't invent it on my own. All the 1301 classes pretty much do it. So, and as you can see, you'll also do a research paper presentation PowerPoint. I'll talk about that again in a minute. The last two of the grammar labs. So, yay, we are looking good here. Now, you just will not believe all of our resources. If you haven't looked at them, you are breaking my heart, because how can you be an online student if you don't know what you're supposed to be doing online? I'll never know. The reading assignment just brings to your attention the chapters or the sections inside the classroom learning packet that cover some things about the research paper. If that's helpful for you, this item number 3 is important. So let's take a look at it. Oh, let's see. Maybe you don't need me to make this larger. Couldn't see where they were hiding my make larger button. Okay, so anyway, these directions, requirements, expectations are every English 1301 instructor uses these same directions. So you'll pick a topic. I encourage you to pick something that you are fond of so that you will enjoy writing the paper. And I also think that if you are taking English 1302, the very first paper in English 1302 is a character analysis paper. So a biography research paper is similar. Of course, the biography research paper is a little deeper than a character analysis paper, but you'll be very prepared for that first paper in the 1302 class if you pick a person to write about, but you certainly don't have to. All right, so several of you have emailed me your topic. I've never said, no, you may not do that topic. If somebody gives me a really broad topic, I try to help you narrow it down so that you have a reasonable paper to write versus giving yourself enough material that you need a small chapter book. Okay, so here's the biggie. Your paper must be 5 to 7 pages long. If it is not at least 4 full pages, it cannot be counted as a research paper, and I can't grade it. So if it is 4 full pages long, that is the minimum that's accepted. So plan on starting at a 70. for your grade. So I would shoot for the full 5 pages in length and go a little bit longer if you'd like to. Um, if you go beyond 8 pages, I will love reading it if it's well written, but I hope you don't do that to me. Anyway, um, the works cited, you need a minimum of 5 sources on your works cited page. And remember, the works cited page starts the top of the last page after your 5 full plus pages. And at least 3 of those sources are supposed to come from the TC databases. Not that difficult to do. Some of you have had some questions, and definitely email me so I can help you through that. Look down here at the bottom. Wikipedia and Shmoop, these are not great sources, so don't use those. I'm just going to go ahead and take us to Wikipedia quick. Wikipedia is an encyclopedia, an online encyclopedia that is written by everybody. So I'm going to just go ahead and put in Elvis Presley, and up comes this a research paper about Elvis Presley. Oh no, um, there's no time for me to do a fundraiser right now, Wikipedia. I'll catch up with you later. So anyway, as some of you may know, anyone can go into a Wikipedia page and change or add information, remove information, and nobody checks your credentials when you do it. There are a group of people who just think it's super funny to put something false on a Wikipedia page and see how long it stays there. And there are also people who think it's really fun to go through and read Wikipedia pages and correct them. So, long story short, this information may or may not be true. The one thing that a Wikipedia page might help you out for is, I'm just going to scroll down to the very bottom. Wikipedia calls this our references. Oh, they really want me to donate. They keep popping stuff up. Okay, all righty. Here are the references. There are so many of them because Elvis is such a popular dude. These are the sources that were used. So if I want to write on Elvis Presley and I read on Wikipedia, see something that I think might be helpful for me, I might come down to the general sources and, open it up. See if I can use that source, see what book they're talking about. So this is helpful. The general sources are helpful, but Wikipedia in and of itself is not a reliable source. So if it's on your works cited page, there better be 5 other good ones, because a minimum of 5 sources on the research paper works cited page, a minimum of 3 need to come from the databases. All right, so those are the directions. Let's go back. Here are the due dates. These are pretty hard and fast because, as you can see, we will be turning in papers up and until we do the final draft of the research paper, which is due on October 6th, no later than 11:59 p.m. on October 6th. And check out all the points that are earned from this paper, the 1,200 points. So you want to follow every step of the way so that we can get all those points for you. And again, the dates are pretty firm. If you don't have the first 3 things done by Sunday night, you're not going to give yourself a very big window to write that 5 to 7 page paper. There is the self-edit checklist, and you can carry this with you in your hand over to the library to talk to a tutor, or I will email the tutors some of the checklist so that they can know what to go over. But the tutors are very familiar with this assignment. Again, every English teacher on campus that teaches 1301 has these same requirements. So the tutors know what to look for. You will not be doing an in-class presentation or the peer review assignment. I've tried to do this in the past where students do recordings over the top of their PowerPoint presentations, and then you listen to one another's presentations, at least a couple of them, and do a peer review. And it's pretty hard to do. Students have a difficult time adding the narration to their PowerPoints, depending on how old their computer is. So I am taking that off the table. So you do need to make a PowerPoint presentation, but you don't need to do the presentation or the peer review portion of that. All right, I'm back in our list of amazing things. This boot camp video series, one of our instructors found that, and it really does just give you some additional information about research writing, some different ideas. I am not going to go through this thesis PowerPoint, but it is a good thing to review. If this is one of the main things you want to walk away from 1301 with is knowing how to write a good thesis statement. This source number 7 is a list of research paper hook and thesis examples. And it takes a minute before it gives me the option to make this bigger. So hang on one second here, and I will make this page a little bit bigger. Okay, so remember, all along we've been saying these are great ways to begin an introduction so that you can capture your reader's attention, you can hook your reader. So these are the most common types of hooks. Here are some things to remember about the thesis statement. You're going to write about one main topic. You will have 3 subtopics about that main topic that you'll cover in the body of your paper. We write research papers in third-person academic voice. That means I don't use any personal pronouns like I, me, my, us, we. I don't use any of that. And I also am not writing in second person, where second person is usually reserved for giving someone instructions. Sometimes they're in magazines like how to put your makeup on. So second person has a whole lot of you should first pull together all the ingredients before you begin baking bread. So a bunch of you, your is used in second person. We're writing in third person. So we're not using personal pronouns or the words you unless it's part of a direct quote from one of our sources. The thesis statement is the last sentence in the introduction. It sets up the genre for the whole essay. If you want, you can continue on with your argument essay if you were in love with that topic. And the expository definition is more, like explaining, describing something. Every once in a while, a student wants to write a compare contrast style where they look at 2 separate topics and discuss them one against the other. I'm happy for you to do anything. Here is this bad thesis. In this paper, I will discuss the benefits of sleep for overall body health. We never say what we're going to be doing in the paper. Notice that when I remove those things, the paper has more of an academic tone to it. Here is the good thesis. The benefits of sleep are well documented, including improved mental health, increased learning and memory, and a strengthened immune system. So I know I'm going to be reading a paper about the benefits of sleep, specifically mental health, brain functions, and strengthened immune systems. Now, there's other benefits to a good night's sleep, but I'm not writing a book. I'm just writing a paper with 3 sections. So those are the 3 things that I am going to focus on. And my face-to-face students hear me say this all the time, but if you're writing an essay in, your history class or your science class or your sociology class, this is the exact same way you want to set up any paper, with a good introduction that's got the thesis with 3 subtopics at the bottom of that introduction. Okay, so I will not look at all of these with you, but here's an example of using the definition hook followed by this thesis statement. Every one of these thesis statements are about Mother Teresa. So this is the thesis statement. Mother Teresa's commitment to serving the underprivileged led to her receiving the Nobel Peace Prize in 1979 and to being canonized as Saint Teresa after her death. So my first portion of my body of my research paper will be several paragraphs talking about commitment to serving the underprivileged. And then my second section of my research paper several paragraphs will talk about her receiving the Nobel Peace Prize. My third section about her being canonized as a saint. Now, I might use in my section about her receiving the Nobel Peace Prize, I might use a paragraph to discuss what is a Nobel Peace Prize, who are some other people who have received it, what are some of the things that were recognized about Mother Teresa that made her the recipient of a Nobel Peace Prize. And the same with being canonized a saint. You might spend a little bit of time talking about what does it mean to be canonized a saint and who else has been canonized and how was Mother Teresa canonized. So anyway, look over this paper, follow this recipe if you want to start with a statistic. A rhetorical question. Notice this rhetorical question does not say anything about you. It uses that third person academic language. What causes a single individual to embark on a mission that seems either unimportant or insurmountable to others? Sounds very sterile. I'm sorry, but this is the academic voice that we use in our writing. Here's a direct quote. Here is a personal story. So there is a time and a place for personal story. And if this is the way you start your introduction, I will love it. And then we've got the famous first person and the 5 W's, the who, what, when, where, why. And so I come right out of the chute. Who am I talking about? Why am I talking about her? What? When did it happen? So all of these are great ways to begin your research paper. Pick one that works for you and put that in the forum. There is a video on formatting the works cited page, an example. Resource 9 is an example. I'm lying. Resource 9 is an MLA citation handout, and this is helpful. This is helpful. This was actually compiled by California State University, and I may have said this to you previously. I feel good about stealing it and putting it in my content because they absolutely stole it from the MLA 9 website. What they've done is they just did some cut and pasting of the most important things. These are the most common entries. So if I've got a book written by one author, this is what is required for me to find. And this is what it'll look like when I do my parenthetical citation within the body of my essay. So books and you can just go through it. It's a nice little handout. Some people really like it. It's a one-place stop for almost every resource that you might use. So we've got that. We've got an example of a works cited page. If you've not been happy with your works cited pages, you might either go online and find a YouTube video that teaches you how to do a works cited page in MLA formatting. Or number 2, I have a video in here. I think that was one of the things I just talked about where I talk about doing the works cited page, but notice that there's not gabs of space. The whole page is double spaced. Nothing's bolded. It's alphabetized. Sometimes my first item is an author, but other times there is no author. And so this is a movie, actually, that is an example of a citation for a movie. Here we have an episode from Stranger Things. So this is how to do that. But I just wanted to tell you, there's not always an author. You start with the first thing you have. And when you reference it in your paper, you use the first thing listed. So if I were going to use my Stranger Things source, in parentheses, I would have parentheses, open quotation marks, chapter 6, colon, the monster, close quotation marks, close parenthesis, period. That would be the parenthetical citation if I don't have an author. And if I do, I'm just using the last name of the author. All right. So much to talk about here. I'm, again, trying not to take forever. There's a couple sample outlines. Item number 12 is a student sample outline. They wrote about Frederick Douglass. That is a good outline. And item 11 comes right out of the classroom packet to show you basically what an outline looks like. I'm not nitpicky about my Roman numerals, my capital letters, my lowercase letters, but I do want to see that you have a plan for your paper. If you have a plan, you can say tonight, I will be working on section 1 of my paper, and I'll cover these things in this order, versus, oh, paper is due tomorrow. I am now going to write the whole thing right now and meander all over the place because I have no direction. All right, we've got a rough draft worksheet, and I'll let you look at that on your own. Here are some examples of using sources within the essay. And again, this is a very short paper. This actually came from a student wrote about Queen Elizabeth a few years ago. And so here we have the source down here at the bottom. And in this top paragraph in blue, it's in blue just so we can see it. On our papers, it's going to be in black. This lets me know, oh, I see that this was paraphrased information from the Prawl source. Okay, it doesn't look like a summary. It doesn't look like the beginning, middle, and end of something. It just looks like a section that was restated in the author's words. And then, of course, down here, we have a direct quote in our second paragraph, and the writer sets up the quote. This discussion will continue because, open quotation marks, many speculate that this is one of the countless secrets the Queen will take to the grave. Close quotation marks, open parenthesis, author's last name, close parenthesis, and punctuation. So it's kind of nice to look at this to know how to do your own in-text citations and using your own sources. We've got some example research papers, and the one on farming, it comes right off from the Purdue OWL site. It is insanely long, and it is crazy because it is about it's about handbooks written about farming in the 1800s. It's incredibly boring. Every single source on it is a book that's like 3 lines long. So I included that just because some of the in-text citations might help you. But here are 2 student examples. Let me just pull this one up. This one was written by Andrew Bruins, and he was in my class. I really think it was before COVID. But anyway, here is his front page, cover page. And then here's the first page of his essay. And he uses a direct quote to kick off his, for his hook. And then we come down here, and here is his thesis statement. Dyslexia can be better understood by properly defining the term with symptoms and types, scientifically studying the condition with scans and research, and wholeheartedly embracing the challenge with tools and accommodations. And so that's how his paper is broken down. So go through and look at this paper if you'd like to. I like this paper because Andrew has dyslexia. And so toward the end of his paper, and his paper is 8 pages long, he has inserted himself, I believe, as a dyslexic. I haven't looked at this for a minute, but I thought he used himself as an example. Maybe he decided not to, and I've forgotten. Anyway, if you talk about a disease that you have, your last body paragraph can be a personal reflection. You don't have to put yourself on the works cited page, but Andrew could have said, I was diagnosed with dyslexia at this time. This has been my journey so far. This is why this topic interests me. And that would have been just fine. Okay. I'm seeing that he includes himself in his conclusion. That's where he's got his I statements going on. Okay, so that's one. And then the other one um, is written about John Wayne Gacy. This is another student. This student did not want me to put his name on blast or her name. We'll never know because I won't divulge. But anyway, cover page. Here we go. Um, and you can see TC Bulldog. Okay, I wasn't very crafty there for Texarkana College and our mascot, the Bulldog. But the essay's name, the student's name, the professor's name, the course name, the date, day, month, year, no commas. That's on our cover page. And then here's our front page header. Here's our running header. And this is about John Wayne Gacy. You can see that the Tyler C. Bulldog's intro is much shorter than Andrew's was. Here is his thesis statement. John Wayne Gacy's story is terrifying, yet interesting because of what happened in his past that led him to commit his crimes, the heinous and vile crimes themselves, and the trial and his life after conviction. 3 sections that will be discussed throughout the paper. So another good paper to look at to help you. Another good works cited page to help you out. So there you go. Those are your 2 example papers in the resources. And then we've got our presentation guidelines. And there are 2 presentation examples. I absolutely saved them because they're good examples. And so if you've never made a PowerPoint presentation before, this would be something that a tutor could help you with. And I won't open the guidelines. You can read that yourself. But it really isn't supposed to be that big of a deal. You've got a cover page that's got the title and your last name. You've got your thesis statement is your second slide, and then there are some body slides that talk about the things you've discussed in your paper. Every once in a while, a student says, you know, okay, well, I covered John Wayne Gacy, and I did discuss in my paper some things about his background, and I did discuss in my paper some things about his conviction and his prison life. But I'm going to focus on some of the cases, some of the victims. And so you don't have to focus on your whole research paper. If you'd like, you can just zoom in on one aspect of it. All right. A lot of what we do in 1301, this is a freshman level course. We want you to know how to make a PowerPoint, know how to do a presentation, know how to format a paper correctly, know how to access a tutor. So that's why all of these things are happening to you. I'm sorry to say, but I'm grateful. I mean, the first time I did a presentation, I literally sat in the library and asked strangers to help me. I've never done one before. And so I want you to be able to have the opportunity to do one before the stakes get too high for you. Okay, here's that checklist. And as I said, on the checklist, you can either get the tutor's signature or ask the tutor to email me after you've met with them, and they will. I get emails all the time during this time period. I'll get an email. Hello, Valerie, this is Kendra over at the library in the tutoring center. Yesterday, I worked with the following students, and then all of those students get 100. Definitely go through this checklist. I want you to print this checklist, make check marks on it, take a picture of it, upload it, and stick it into the assignment portal so I can see that you used it. Every once in a while, a student's on campus anyway, so they'll just stick it in my in tray outside my door. But if you go through this paper and you have done all of these things, you know going into it that you've got an A paper, and that is my dream for you. Okay, here's how to schedule an appointment with a tutor. You just click on that link, you find the writing tutors, and then you schedule an appointment. Again, you are welcome to come up here on campus and meet with them face to face. not just one time, but multiple times throughout this process. Or you can do it from home. They'll send you a Teams invite and go over your paper with you. So we definitely, we're not trying to drag you up on campus. It's very easy for you to do this. Okay, and here's the grading rubric right here. That's number 19. You can look and see how you earn those 300 points. Um, Spoiler alert, 100 of them come from writing the paper in the correct organization. 100 of them come from correct writing and grammar mechanics, and 100 of them come from your MLA formatting in text citations works cited page. Okay, this item 20 is these are just some reminders of what to and what not to do. Mostly, I'm in love with this little handout because it talks about remembering to use academic voice, that we don't use contractions when we're writing an academic paper. Just gives you some reminders, some things to think about as you work on that paper. Okay, those are all 20 resources. And you can see that everything is open now. Everything is wide open. So you could have already finished your forum, your works cited, and your outline, and be working on the rough draft right now. And you can even be through with the rough draft right now. I can't see that any of you are, but remember, I start writing my rough draft and I say, you know what, now that I'm working on this, I really want to change my outline up. I'm going to move my third topic in between my first and second. I don't need to see the outline again. I've already seen it. I know you know how to make one. And so you never have to back up all the way. You can say, hey, I rewrote my thesis statement here in my email. Will you please look at it and see if it will work? So you can change that up if you want to, but you don't have to redo assignments that have already received a grade. Okay, and let's see if somebody has done this. Oh, Miss Brittany. All right, Brittany, thank you so much for letting us look at your introduction and thesis statement here. Okay, so she says, according to Whitney et al., and that means here's the last name of one author, and there are 3 or more authors, so I'm going to use this Latin abbreviation. I'm not going to write all their last names down. According to Whitney et al., the United States is the only nation in the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, open parenthesis, and the initials that stand for Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, close parenthesis, that does not have a legislative mandate for paid parental leave. And this was found on page 1319. Great job, Brittany. The time a mother takes off from work after giving birth is known as maternity leave, while the time a father takes off from work to stay with his infant and recovering wife is known as paternity leave. Maternity and paternity leave are equally vital to the child's growth, the mother's physical and emotional well-being, the father-child bond, and the husband-wife dynamic. So Brittany has given herself 4 subtopics, which is absolutely fine, that she's going to talk about how this leave is vital for the child, vital for the mother's physical and emotional health, vital for the father's bond with the baby, and vital for the husband-wife dynamic. And so this is perfect. Wonderful job, Brittany. I'm giving this 2 thumbs way up. Okay, so anyway, this is our unit. And please email me. I've answered a lot of your emails already. I'll try to answer them as quickly as I can. The very next thing that comes after we finish turning in this paper on October 6th, let's see, your final exam will be open Monday, October 7th through Wednesday, October 9th. You'll take it online. And it's all multiple choice, and I'll give you a review before we go over it. Okay, here is that presentation. Remember, you do not need to add narration. If you want to, you can, but you don't need to do that. And here are the last two grammar labs. They're wide open right now too. So some of you will work ahead and you'll finish sooner than others of you who will work at the very last minute, but all research papers are happily received. And as we say, the best research papers are the ones that are finished. So we all want to have a finished research paper past 1301. I only regret that I haven't been able to see you face to face and work with you. Please let me know if you have any questions at all so that I can help you. I do not want you to struggle with this. I definitely don't want you to wait until the last minute and then regret that you don't have enough time to finish it and then you have to repeat 1301. All right. Have a fabulous weekend and hope to work with you on this paper via the web. Okay. Bye, everybody.